Rebekah always says when she drops into bed at night.
I love my babushka. Hello! Oh, I gotta echo. Hello and welcome to the Happy Hippie Hebrew Girl Show. I am Rebekah Shabbat Rebekah, and I am so excited that you're here tonight. I just want you to know that I am seeking to move your head knowledge into heart knowledge. So get ready for a really fun show today. The subject matter is a little bit deep, but hey, you can hang with me, okay? Great, we'll see you in a second. Alright, so I did it again. There we go. So join me for the next about 90 minutes or so. We'll see. It might be a little bit more than that, but hopefully not. But we're going to talk for the next 90 minutes about some really fun things. There's new segments I'm going to show you. And this is basically a show for the Melchizedek Priesthood. So that you can have something fun to watch on Shabbat and something to challenge you, I think. So this is for the people who want to learn how to walk with the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and in the beautiful understanding of Yeshua, the son of Yehovah Elohim. So tonight, Isaac is not here, so a big shout out to my hubby, who is not here to join me today. He is stuck in Seattle and sick. So, love you, baby. I wish you were here. But today, I've got both my girls are here to do a little bit with me, and then I'm going to talk about a pretty intense subject, and we're going to start to approach this: the disappearing image bearers, excuse me. All right, my music just stopped. This show is sponsored by Teshuvah Ministries, promoting a simple understanding of salvation and of the Royal Melchizedek Priesthood. Visit www.teshuvahministries.com for more. Good evening and welcome to the newsroom. I am Rebekah Shabbat Rebekah, and tonight, like father, like son, where Yeshua echoes the Father. Tonight we are going to look at where they both say we pay our own consequence, our own eternal consequence for how we choose to live our own life. So let's look at Matthew, where Yeshua talks about this in Matthew 12:36-37. We are actually going to back up to 35. He says, a good man out of the treasure of a good heart brings forth good things, and an evil man out of an evil treasure brings forth evil things. Interesting. Therefore I say to you that every careless word that men shall speak, they shall give account in the day of judgment. But by your own words you will be justified, and by your own words you will be condemned. Do you see what he's saying there? He's saying that you will pay the price for a consequence, eternal consequence for what the choices are that we make, right? All right, so let's see where Yehovah says the same thing. So let's look in Ezekiel 18. Let's start with 18:4. so we see in 18 verse 4, Yehovah is speaking. He says, "For every living soul belongs to me, the Father as well as the Son, both alike belong to me. The soul who sins is the one who will die." And then we see again in Ezekiel 18:17-18, we see him say, he's talking about a good man and what a good man will do or what a bad man will do. He's kind of running over that. And he says, "He will not die for his father's sin. He will surely live, but the father will die for his own sin because he practiced extortion and robbed his brother," and etc., etc. So the soul who sins, it says in verse 20, the soul who sins is the one who will die. The Son will not share in the guilt of the Father, nor will the Father share in the guilt of the Son. The righteousness of the righteous man will be credited to him, and the wickedness of the wicked will be charged against him. That's in verse 20. So here we see Yeshua and Yehovah speaking the same thing. Once again, proof that Yeshua did not come to speak his own words, but the words of his Father. Yes. So be careful with what you choose to do, because you will pay the consequence for your own sin or righteousness. One consequence will lead you one way, and the consequence of leading a good life and obeying is going to lead you to the happily ever after. Until next time, I am Rebekah Kaha Bat Yehovah. All right. Jeez, I can't remember that. There's so much to remember. All right, so Maggie's joining me right now. So I just wanted to share. Oh, there you are, up there. I keep forgetting to look up. I just wanted to share the fact that during Hanukkah this year, I made candles. Maggie and I made candles. Isaac dipped a little bit too. Dipped the candles a little bit. And we made 260, I think 260 some candles. And we have Shabbat candles. So I have a lot of Shabbat candles. And then Havdalah candles, actually different kinds of Havdalah candles. We braided it different ways. And this is one that we tried. I like how that one, and I did little ones, and I did dedication candles and stuff like that. So I just thought I would mention that. It was fun. I hope you did something fun for Hanukkah. This is cool because this is about bringing light, right? Candles, flame, light, good. Okay, so Maggie's here to join me in place of Isaac, who's not feeling very good and stuck traveling. But Maggie and I were talking yesterday about a little story that we thought we would share with you. It has to do with Maggie living in a dorm, and it was a Christian school, so she lived in a dorm. It wasn't very long, just enough during the holidays, the pagan holidays. And there was a Christmas tree in this hallway, and so tell us about it, Maggie.
Well, yeah, so...
Can I? Tell us about it, Maggie.
I was in a dorm for about a semester, and it was getting to the holidays, and they had put up a Christmas tree at the end of our dorm, and the hallway was long. My dorm room was at the very end, and the Christmas tree was right here. Come up the stairs. I was all by myself. The dorm was deserted at the time. Came back from a class to get something, so no one was there, and I came up the stairs, went past the tree, turned to go down the hall towards my dorm room, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw a crumpet sitting in the tree, and I didn't turn around to look back, but I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I knew it was chasing me. So I was freaked out. I kind of jumped out of my skin, and I literally almost ran down the hallway to my dorm room. I did run, actually. I kind of
She bolted.
I bolted down to my dorm because I was being chased by this thing down the hallway.
Needless to say, that was the last week you were there. I think.
Yeah.
You took her out after that.
But it was just, I got to my dorm room, opened the door, but then realized I was entering my own personal space, and I turned around to basically, like, face it in my doorway, and, like, commanded it away, prayed, and then closed the door.
Wow. That weird, like when you learn about the roots of Christmas and how they actually still celebrate it in some countries in the East or in Europe area, the Krampus, right? Is that how you say it? Yeah. I mean, talk about wickedness. Talk about awful. We saw it. What we see on Jim Staley's video is that we had seen Jim Staley's Truth or Tradition video kind of before that summer, I think.
Actually, this year I saw it. I don't know where I saw it. I think it was on Facebook or in an ad in a newspaper or something. But it was a holiday party advertised as a Krampus party. And they had pictures of these things.
No way.
In their invitation.
Okay, people are just...
Which was... Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. All right, so Maggie has something. We were having a fun time. Was it last night?
Uh-huh.
It was last night. Fun time driving home from where we were, and she was talking about what it was like to live with Rebekah. So enlighten us, Maggie.
If you guys really want to know, then here it is.
No, they don't. They don't care. They don't
Probably
need to.
not.
They don't need to know. But for the sake of Maggie being willing to hang with me today on the show, we're gonna talk. She's gonna talk. Okay, so you have a little list that we talked about last night. So what's it like living
I have a
with
cheat sheet.
your mother?
Well, I don't even know how we got on this subject yesterday.
Last night, I don't know either. I don't
But
know. Come here, Kata.
anyway, here's just some fun little
Come here, Kata.
tidbits about my mom. All right, so,
Yes,
what's it like to live with you? So she's a cook, obviously.
chef.
Chef, sorry. She's a
chef.
She's a very good chef, don't get me wrong. But she doesn't cook like normal people. She throws things. And she never follows the recipe. So she'll go in the kitchen, she'll look in the cupboards, in the fridge, look at what we have, and then just basically start tossing things into the bowl or pan or whatever. And somehow out pops the good meal. I have no idea how she does it, but it happens. So yes.
Hey.
And along those lines,
They're good. Man, those are some of the best meals.
oh yeah, no, they're great.
But the problem is that
you can't remake them.
I can't remake them.
Because she doesn't write the recipes down. And
Oh man,
we've
that's
kidded
frustrating.
about putting a video camera in the kitchen when she cooks so that we can rewatch it and figure out what she did to make it.
The problem is that leftovers are so awesome. Leftovers allow you to make really cool things.
Yeah.
All right, you don't have all day. Come on.
No. So, and then you can't hold a normal conversation with her. At least if you're a teenager who, likes movies and stuff. Like, I'll try to talk to her about, Marvel movies and stuff. Try to tell her about the story of it. Oh my gosh, this one's the Ant-Man too. Tell her all about it. She's like, and how is that related to kingdom things? Or, she'll bring it back always to, something spiritual or kingdom, which she does that with a lot of things. Every conversation. You're saying?
Everything.
Yeah, everything. So I can't watch, Marvel movies at home because I feel too guilty. Because she rubs it in that, it's based off of mythological Greek gods and
Well,
stuff.
it's true.
It is true, but it's different.
Okay, whatever. This isn't the place to hash out family issues.
Yeah, so, and then she's big on organic and non-GMO.
And your point is?
It's not a bad thing. She just raised me too good. So now when I go into a grocery store to buy things, I can't buy the cheaper loaf of bread. I have to buy the more expensive one because it's non-GMO.
So it's called organic guilt,
Yeah.
right?
Which is good. Because that's how it should be.
I don't know.
She's very last minute on some things.
Not everything.
But not everything.
I gave a countdown, half hour, 15,
That's
5
right.
minutes.
That's true.
So, but I am really, I think what we were talking about last night is, sometimes you don't want to come with me to do stuff, and you're like, I don't want to go, and I'm looking at her, I'm like, don't you know by now that coming with your mother is an adventure? And
Oh,
fun?
it is. But then always a lot of good things happen.
Right.
if you go with her to town or
You never
shopping or
know
something.
what's going to happen with Rebekah when you
There
come with
could be
her.
ice cream involved.
There could be ice cream involved, right, Hadassah?
Yeah, so it's just vanilla. Not any
Okay, we don't need to talk about.
One more thing. Back to the cooking, which she's a great cook, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you.
But I was.
You're not too bad, dude. You're getting better.
So I'm
yeah.
big into like the creation versus evolution debate, and so I was listening to a professor talking, and when they're talking about like how dumb the theory of evolution is or on how probable it is, they'll use the theory like it would be as dumb as going into a automotive dump, putting a bunch of car parts into a barrel or whatever, mixing them up, and then out pops one of the newer 2018, whatever you call them, the new fancy cars. Anyway, but instead of that theory, this professor, he used the theory, he's a different one. He said, evolution is as dumb as going into your kitchen, taking a lot of ingredients, tossing them into a bowl, mixing them up, and having a wonderful meal come out. And I'm like, okay, that theory doesn't work because that's exactly what my mom does.
I do have to stir it, and we just don't stand there and watch it evolve. But
that's true. But that's immediately what I thought.
Well, that's
immediately
funny.
what I thought about. So.
Oh, thank you, Maggie. I love having you on the show. That was super fun yesterday. We don't have a lot of great conversations sometimes. I mean, every once in a while we have a great conversation is what I meant to say. That one was really fun. All right, so this is Hadassah's little, let me see if I can find my thing. I'm going to show you, where'd it go? This room segment. Oh, here we go. So this is Hadassah's little week 8 envelope that she did, and then I'm going to read a encouragement in here, and this one actually is from Dr. David Perry a few years ago. And he was responding to something that I had said. So if you didn't know, Isaac and I are the editors of Back to the Melchizedek Future by Dr. David Perry and Covenants of Promise. We published both those, edited and published both of those books. And he says, sad, but he did say that the straight way, the narrow gate, the few that find it, the little flock, the remnant, and the elect, ... sounds like a pretty small group. I find I must remember this. For I, too, thought the message of the Melchizedek priesthood would be embraced, not resisted. I, too, thought it would have taken on a life of its own instead of being largely kicked to the curb. But I, like you, know too much. Just because of these negative pushbacks does that relieve me of the obligation to try? No, it does not. Unfortunately, we are subjected to fragmenting in our own ranks. One teacher is going his own way, another is going his. Does any of that relieve me of the obligation to try? No, it does not. I will stay the course and stand for the Melchizedek truth no matter what, no matter who. But thank Yah that there are a few, you two and your ministry, and a sprinkling of others, even from different parts of the world. So take courage, be strong, fight the good fight. Know that I love you, but more importantly that Yah loves you. David. So, I thought that was, wow, that was good. So that wasn't really, we went from ha-ha to, well. All right, buddy, come here, come say hi, and then we'll go to our next segment. Come here. Did you see Buddy? Come here, Buddy. We have so this is Buddy. This is Buddy, a rescue dog, and this is Kayha, Kayrah, and her name means provision. And that's a long story, but got her right before we went to the teepee. And then we have a cat underneath. I think he's underneath our bench. All right, here we go with some more segments. Yay, if I can find the thing. Hello and welcome, shalom, and welcome to Song Service with Bruce and Rebecca here on beautiful Hayden Lake. Bruce and I go way back. We're very good friends, and so I'm very happy to have him here. We are going to sing Hallelujah, and please forgive my voice if it goes off. Okay, whatever. Gosh, it's so... I know, but it's so... I like can't hit the high notes. Chutzpah! You don't understand, I've so lost my chutzpah. It's been a hard summer, man. I'm lucky I'm right here, right now. Okay, we will do it. Do you want to do it one more time? I kind of like that one, but your hands, fingers, oof. if you are repenting and returning to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, then you are part of scattered Israel. And there is a prophecy. It is prophesied that one day Yah will plant you in the land. But before then, perhaps you'll get to go visit.
Last Sukkot, we went to visit Israel.
Yes, we did. So Hadassah and I have 3 travel tips for you today. The first travel tip is how to say, where's the bathroom?
Where's the bathroom?
These are words and sentences, phrases that I wish I had known when we were in Israel last year. It would have made talking to the locals a little bit easier.
איפה השירותים? איפה השירותים?
Ifo shortim. Ifo shortim. Ifo shortim. So Hadassah, tell me how to spell that. Ifo shortim.
E-Y-F-O
Ifo.
H-A, like hash. E-R-U-T-I-N.
T-I-M?
Yeah.
T-I-M. T-I-M? M? Okay.
Like Tim.
Like Tim. Ifo shortim. Ifo shortim. Where is the bathroom? All right, and travel tip number 2, when you go to Israel, you know, I'm just a sucker for some things, but you've got to have some stuff to come back with to remember. And one of the things that I really loved was a carved camel. Tip number 3. Tip number 3 is you've got to go to the camel ranch in the Negev. Hadassah, what did you love most about the camel ranch?
Because in the Bible, Moses led the Israelites across the desert to camp at the base of
Yes, and so you really loved the Negev, and we got to ride camels in the Negev, right?
Yes, we did.
This was her favorite. She asked to go to the Negev, so we made a point of going to the Negev for Hadassah. And one of the things we did was ride camels. And you have got to go ride camels in the Negev desert during your time in Israel. All right, so those are our 3 travel tips for today.
I can't wait to meet you in Israel.
And just remember, it's His land, and no matter what their people are doing to it or on it right now, in the end, it is prophesied that the scattered will come back, clean it up, and call it home. God bless
your journey into His land.
Oh, hello. Well, welcome to my storage unit. Yes, it's kind of a mess, isn't it? This is a box full of dance stuff. Yes, I'm folding dance clothes and looking at all the little dance clothes that my girls had when they were little. So, what can I do for you? Oh, you would like a story, I bet. You came here for a story. Yes, I have stories for you. Isn't this cute? Oh, I just love that outfit. That was one of Maggie's cutest outfits. I do have a story for you. Yeah, storage unit is a great place to tell stories because there's so many great boxes with memories in them, right? So yeah, come on in, I'll tell you a story. In fact, I have a great story that has to do with dancing and a little girl at 5 years old. That isn't that cute. Wait a minute, it went this way. Oh, I remember when she wore that. Ah, this is when she got a little bigger. I mean, I like that one, but I like these. All right, you ready? Okay, are you listening? All right, this has to do with dancing. Now, my girls have been dancing since they were 3 years old. which means Maggie has been dancing now for 15 years and Hadassah has been dancing for 13 years. And I have several boxes completely full of dance recital clothes, wow, like so super cool, lots of different outfits. Ever since they were little, we've been gaining tons of boxes here. So I remember a story that happened when Maggie was 5 years old, actually. Hasatan came after her, and I'll tell you this story because, and I think there's a really important lesson in this story. This story is, again, one of my favorite stories. So Maggie at birth, when she was born, when she started walking, she was always on her tiptoes. She was always like tiptoe, 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 and I knew she was made to dance. I just knew it. Dance or gymnastics or something. So we put her in gymnastics and then dance. And so for 5 years of her first, just a little bit, she was doing both. And at some point we asked her to choose. So 5 years after being in gymnastics for 5 years and dance for 5 years, and we said, you got to choose one. So she chose dance. So I know that dancing was written on Maggie's heart. She's been dancing ever since she was little, trying to be up on her toes, walking around on her toes, jumping up and down after bath. I'll never forget giving her a bath and putting her on the bed, and she would jump up and down like this, and then she would tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. I knew that dancing was ballet. She's supposed to be on point. I just knew it. Well, one of the religion that I grew up in and Isaac grew up in, dancing wasn't allowed, and so even ballet was a no-no. And I wanted to be a dancer my whole life, but I wasn't allowed in the religion that I grew up in. And so when our girls started dancing, it was tears from Isaac, both Isaac and I, that we realized, what I missed out on as a little girl and what his sisters missed out on. But with Maggie, what happened was we put her in dance classes when she was little, at 3 years old, and about at 5 years old, so she'd been dancing for 2 years, loved dancing. I mean, so excited to go to classes, and she was building this great relationship with the other kids in the classes and the other families. We were having a lot of families interaction there. It was like, began to feel like a place to belong. And the teacher was awesome, it was a beautiful dance studio, and there was no reason for Maggie to get scared, but she did. At 5 years old, her and I were going to go over to the mall, and this is before the teepee. This was long before the teepee. We were in a house downtown, and I was a photographer at the time and a graphic designer, and we were going to go down to the mall, and her and I were going to get pictures together for her 5-year-old birthday. So I put her into the truck, a big old Ford truck. It was a crew cab, a big white thing. It was beautiful. Get her in there, and we drive to the mall to take these pictures. And lo and behold, I had no idea she was sick until we got right there at the parking lot and then stopped the truck, and she's in a white outfit, got her hair all curly. Mine is all curly. I'm in a white outfit, so we match, and she starts, blah. So she's just sick. She started throwing up, and she's so cute. She started wiping herself off, saying, no, Mommy, I'm okay. We can still go. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. So we turned around, went back home. She got better. But what happened was she associated the getting sick with the vehicle. So getting her into the truck after that was quite a chore. She did not want to get into the truck, and she began to get to succumb to this fear, and I could not figure out how to get her to dance class. I could not get her to anywhere. She wouldn't go. She wouldn't get in the truck to go to dance. She wouldn't get in the truck to go see friends. She just did not want to get into that truck. And I tried everything. For like 2 months, I tried everything, trying to figure out how to get her past this hurdle. I had her learn to walk through the questions. Are you sick? Or da-da-da. No, I'm not. Da-da-da. Then nothing's going to happen. But I couldn't help it. I couldn't help her. Finally, the teacher decides, this is 2 months of fighting with Maggie over going anywhere. And all I saw was my little girl beginning to fade, like changing. Like she was so in love with dance. And now all of a sudden she had all this fear, and she was going to allow the fear to stop her from dancing. And I was like, I couldn't reason with her. You can't reason with a 5-year-old. I couldn't force her. I couldn't reason. I didn't know what to do. I was so frustrated. So I called the dance teacher. So the dance teacher had gotten a brand new car, and I thought, well, maybe Maggie would like to ride in a brand new car. And so the dance teacher was going to show up at a certain time, pick Maggie up, and whisk her off to dance class, right? So we're standing on the front porch waiting for the teacher to come, and Maggie had been excited. She was okay with it, and then all of a sudden she started to get this fear, and she started to cry, and she started to say, I'm not going to dance. I don't want to dance. I can't. And I was like, yeah, right. You're made to dance. I know you're made to dance. And I was starting to see my little girl just change and crumble, and to a point where I was starting to think something else was up. And I was new to spiritual warfare at the time, and I got down on my knees. I started praying, and we're sitting on the porch. She's standing there right in front of me, and all of a sudden it was like the Ruach spoke to me and told me what was happening, that this was Hasatan trying to make an agreement with my daughter, trying through fear, making an agreement with my daughter so that she would stop dancing. And I picked my eyes up off the floor, and they were burning mad, and I looked right through, and I saw behind her Hasatan and the evil one in my mind's eye, in the mythical reality of things. And I said, you are so out of here. And I looked at Maggie, and I grabbed her in the face, and I said, Maggie, I know what's going on here. I know how to get rid of this, and I know how to get your heart back. And I said, this is Hasatan. He's set against you. He wants you to give into fear. He wants to make an agreement with you, and you are not going to. We're going to get rid of him right now in Yeshua's name. So we knelt down, or I knelt down, and Maggie's probably thinking, what the heck is going on? But I'm praying, and I pray Hasatan away in the name of Yeshua. Get out of here. And he left. It was like I could see through it at that moment. Like I got eyes to see, and literally I came up off the floor with piercing, like, superhero eyes. It went, whoa, I can see right through, and I know what's going on. And the dance teacher pulls up right after that. Maggie gets her bag, walks away from me, walks down the walk, out the front gate, gets into Miss Debbie's car, closes the door. She's so excited to be in Miss Debbie's car, where just a few minutes before she was crying, didn't want to get into a car, didn't want to go to dance class, was done with dance at 5 years old. And I'm like, no, you're not. And I had promised Maggie that I was going to drive behind her. So I get in my car. So Miss Debbie pulls out. I get behind. I follow them all the way to dance class. She doesn't even look back. She just goes with Miss Debbie into the dance studio, waves at me, and never has had a problem since. Yeah. So if there's any parents listening, I want you to know that moment, as soon as I realized what had happened, I fell to my knees and began to pray again. And I knew I was just in tears, realizing the job of a parent. The job of a parent is to recognize when Hasatan is coming after your kid. And your job is to make that stop, to stand between your kid and Hasatan at that early age. I mean, and later you're supposed to teach them how to do that themselves, absolutely. But at that age, he could make an agreement with her that would stop her from being all that she was meant to be, And in that moment, I realized the huge, huge role that a parent plays. It's not just about feeding them and keeping them alive and getting them to school and getting them to bed and getting them to this curricular activity and that one and soccer and all this other jazz. It's not about that. Being a parent is about coming between the evil one and your child. It's about breaking agreements for them. It's about noticing when an agreement is trying to be forged by Hasatan to your child. And if he was able to do that, he could have stopped her from dancing. I mean, how many of you can look back in your childhood and say that you made an agreement with him and it has affected your whole life? Absolutely. I think we all can. But the job of a parent is to stop that from happening, and then to teach your child how to grow up to be the warrior and to recognize and to resist, as Yeshua says, to resist the devil, right? So, huge story. I love this kind of stories because these stories remind me of when he comes through, and this, he gave me eyes to see, and he gave me a huge parenting lesson. So there you have my story for today. So yeah, I like to end my stories with, and they lived happily ever after. So her and Dance, Maggie and Dance are going to live happily ever after. Yeah, both my girls are beautiful dancers. So thank you for coming to listen to my story, and I hope that you come again. I've got lots of stories to share. Bye-bye. All right. Nice stories, huh? You like dancing.
Yeah, I like dancing.
How long have you danced?
13 years.
13 years. So Hadassah's been dancing 13 years. Maggie's been dancing how long now?
Going into my 17th.
She's going into her 17th year dancing.
Oh yeah. I could be a professional by now.
I just wanted to mention too, I'm so sorry that, you know, I'm not a fabulous singer or anything like that, but that, you know, I love old time camp songs, and so I have a little Happy Hippie Hebrew Girl campfire songbook if you want to. There's a link below in the description. You can go and download this so you can sing along with me and sing better. All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, the voice just isn't as it always isn't as it was before. So, Hadassah's here for just a moment with me as we Hadassah in my ramble section. We're supposed to be rambling, but honestly, Hadassah and I can't figure out what to ramble about. Hadassah is she got sick this week, and is just now getting better. So show them what you're making.
Well, I'm crocheting a blanket.
She's crocheting a blanket. I love the colors. That's super pretty. Nice, Hadassah.
Yeah.
That is going to be so nice. I love it. Is it mine? Is it for me?
Mom, it's for all of us.
No, I haven't. I know what we were. Just tell them more quickly. What do you want to do? You want to do something with blankets. You want to, remember?
Oh.
What was it?
Whoops.
Remember? She wants to
Oh yeah, I want to be in a
put it down.
A company.
She wants to start a company
of crocheting blankets.
And who are these blankets going to be for?
For other people that is cold.
Yeah, she's going to put little tags on them. She's going to crochet blankets like this, and then she's going to put a little tag on. What's the name of your company? We figured it out the other day. What was it? It's easy. It's so easy.
Well, yeah, it is easy.
Hadassah's
blanket company.
Yeah, but these are blankets she wants to give away. So she wants to make little blankets for little kids and big blankets for big kids and volunteer to. So now I just need. We need to figure out how to afford all the yarn. So if you'd like to donate to Hadassah's project, then please have at it. Let me put this up. If you want to do that, there is the slide where you can send Hadassah some help with you can send her yarn so she can make blankets for people that need some a warm blanket. Okay, well, while I have you here, Hadassah, I have two really nice encouragement things from people. So I'm going to read this other one because I thought it was really good too. So I had two this week. So I'm going to read it, okay? While you crochet.
Okay.
It's from Christopher. This a couple summers ago. Yeah. I applaud what you are doing. Psalms 119:2. Happy are they that keep his testimonies, that seek him with the whole heart. Wow. Yes, that's what I do. So happy am I because yesterday I saw a young lady on the internet who looked pretty cheerful in doing what she was doing. Do not worry about the quantity of hits, Rebekah. That is the Creator's work. You just make sure that you are bringing the real truth and let Yahweh take care of the rest. Let his will be done. So whether you get a zillion hits or just one, I see that you are to be happy to be doing it with all your heart. That I do. Do not look to be an international superstar, but look to being cheerful, happy, and honest. A scripture-ready person who does it because she really does love our Creator, who has made a great plan and great sacrifices. Look at all the people who have looked at your programs. Do you realize that you have had a video that has over 1,000 hits? Well, who else do you know that can come up to you and say, I've preached, taught, spoken to over 1,000 people in and about the kingdom of God? If you would like to see one, just look in the mirror. Oh, that makes me cry. All right. So keep on doing what you are doing and do not pray for a zillion hits. Pray for those who are seeking our Father with all their hearts. And then be thankful when they have found you, Rebekah. Or when they have found you. And then he closes with a sentence that made me cry when I first read it. Rebekah, you brought joy to my Lisa before she passed. Thank you.
Aww.
I know. And I guess on that note, I just would like to say for us all to remember, just to help you remember that every single one of us has power to influence and affect people around us. So to use your gifts, your callings, your gifts and your talents to live in the calling that he has called you to do, to speak, to shout it out from the rooftops. I mean, that is what we're supposed to do. And wow, we could be super powerful as a community if we all really lived it with all our hearts. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And affect people like this. Beautiful. All right, I have one more segment for you, and then we will get to my prezi for today and the kind of deep subject. All right.
Hi everyone and welcome to Tea and Treasures. Alright, so here we have another book that you have made. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about it.
Alright, well this is Buddy. First of all. Alright, yes, this is another book that I have made. This is called The Characteristics of a Melchizedek Priest. This is a workbook, and this is basically Teshuvah Ministries was trying to start Teshuvah College. It was supposed to be an academy college place for our kids to go and meet each other. Well, we started by offering online courses, and the first online course that I created was this, and it's actually online. You can take this course online, or you can actually just buy the workbook here. So this is, how much do you want me to tell you about it before you ask me another question? I can't remember.
Oh, not much. Is it hard to do though?
Is this hard to do? No, this is a very, very simple course. It's not a complicated course. It's very, very easy. It's basically just looking at what Yeshua thought were important characteristics in his priests, and the people who followed him, and people who wanted to learn from him in his Talmudim. What did he think was important? And you know, it's basically 335 questions in here that help you do an audit of your life, to say, am I in line with Yeshua? Do I have his characteristics in me? Am I eating of him? Am I becoming like him? So this is a great thing to do once a year. Really easy. You basically answer the question, yes, I have it. No, I don't. I'm working on it. I'm praying about it. I'm waiting for the Ruach to help me with this. That sort of thing. So,
alright, so before you put it down, give me a question. Example of a question.
Yeah, let me show you a sample question. A sample question would be, in test number 5, it says, am I doing the works of Abraham? So in John 8:39, Yeshua says it's important that his followers do the works of Abraham. Am I doing that? And so then you can answer, yes, I do. No, I don't. I'm working on it. Not sure what that means. You know, so it's a great little book to do an audit of your life.
So this helps someone become a better disciple of Yeshua?
Yes, absolutely. Because in order to be a disciple of Yeshua, we need to know what he wants us to do, and we have to know what it is of him we need to eat.
I think I need to go and finish mine.
What? Say that louder?
I think I need to go and finish mine.
I think you need to say that louder.
About that on Instagram.
You're so funny. All right. We have fun watching the show from this end as well. All right. I have a Prezi. Let's find it. Let's see where my... There it is. So, whoops, wrong way. All right, so there is my Prezi. Let's see if I can make this down. There we go. All right, so we are going to go through this Prezi just a little bit today. We're actually going to start talking about this. We haven't. I just think this is super huge. Isaac and I were talking today on a FaceTime video, and while he's laying in bed, and it's just too big for one show. It's just overwhelming for one. I think that I could literally spend, and I think I have a slide in here about this. You could literally spend your entire life studying this topic, and wrapping your brain around it, and then trying to figure out how to communicate it. You could spend your entire life doing this. This would be like PhD level work, I think. In fact, you know what? With the work that I do, I have had people before tell me that the kind of work I do is master's PhD level work. But you know what? I don't care what people think. A man thinks to have a degree to get credibility or whatnot might be a good thing someday, but I care about what Yehovah Elohim thinks. So we're going to look just for a little bit here about on this subject, the disappearing image bearers, the greatest threat, or not threat, but the greatest attack on Yehovah Elohim. So when I think about the disappearing image bearers, when I think about the image bearers not image bearing correctly, it's pretty sad and pretty pathetic, and I feel like it is evil's greatest, single most attack on Yahweh, Yehovah Elohim, the great one, the Melech Tzadek, our Father, Papa. So let's go ahead and see here if I can. Oh, there it is. All right, so I'm gonna open this with the story of the green smoke. So
The greens.
Hey, that got my daughter's attention. Okay, so do you know that, so some of you probably know the story of the Chronicles of Narnia, and in the Chronicles of Narnia, she's glad I'm talking about, but watch me bring it right around, or Maggie, whoever you are, watch me bring it around. Okay, so in the silver chair, there is a scene where it's the books, the silver chair. So the Chronicles of Narnia, if you don't know, there are lots of books in the, what are there, 7 books, Maggie, I think? 7 books, and one of those books is called The Silver Chair. So it's the story of the kids basically going to the underworld, and they have with them Puddleglum. Puddleglum is a frog-type guy that has big feet, and it's just a very, very unique perspective on life. He's got some great one-liners, great quotes and stuff from him. But I don't know if he sees, does he see things, the glass half empty, or not really. He's kind of a strange one.
He's pessimistic.
He's a pessimistic
Yeah.
pessimist. Anyway, so the kids are down in the underworld, and they're locked in a room together with Puddleglum, and the Green Witch basically comes in and lights a fire in the fireplace because it's cold, I believe. And what happens is it's this green smoke that doesn't go up a chimney. It comes into the room.
She puts a herb in it to confuse
She puts an
them.
herb. Okay, she puts an herb into
Because they
it.
come there to rescue the prince, but she tries
Right.
to stop them by confusing
Well, come here
them.
and tell the story. Okay, so they're going to rescue the prince because she's got him in the silver chair. And you're going to confuse me now.
Sorry.
If you want to come sit here, then come sit here. So that's not my point.
Sorry.
Okay, so the witch starts a fire, and then she puts an herb in it that causes it to be green smoke. So the kids and the Puddleglum are going to breathe this stuff, and pretty soon she wants them to forget that there's a sun. She wants them to forget that there's a world that they came from. She wants them to think that the only thing that is what's in front of them, which is darkness, underground. There's no light, there's no sky.
And there's no Aslan.
And there's no Aslan, which is
That's
probably
her
her main goal. Thank you, Maggie. See, I need you.
Welcome.
Yes. So
I know what
her main goal is for them to forget Aslan, to go, there is no Aslan. Okay, so in the course of the scene there, the kids one by one start to say there is no sun, there is no Aslan. She's starting to have her way with the kids. Well, Puddleglum has this fortitude, he has this courage, he has this chutzpah that you don't really know where it comes from, because he's kind of been a naysayer the whole time. But then all of a sudden he comes and he's like, he has this great eloquy, which I was going to read you, but I didn't want to waste your time. But I didn't want to waste the time.
It's worth the time.
It is worth the time. Well, I don't have it with me. Sorry. You can find it if we have the book over there, and I'll read it. But so basically, he helps them remember that there is a sun. He helps them remember that they came from a better place. That what they see there is not good, and even if, I think he phrases it like, even if it doesn't exist, what we have in our mind is better than what is in front of us. So there is the green smoke that they're inhaling that's causing them to forget who they are, who Aslan is, where they came from, and this green witch, who is representative of the evil one, is trying to get them to forget. So they were getting very, very confused, and so Puddleglum said, "No, don't get confused. Well, I want to stand up and be Puddleglum today." And Puddleglum, what does he do? He takes his feet, the big feet,
He goes and stomps the fire out.
and he stomps the fire out,
Yeah.
and he burns his feet.
He gets injured in the process. Yes.
Gets injured in the process. Well, this is super cool. Like, I want to be Puddleglum. I want to put this fire out, and I know that I won't be putting it out, but in your life, in not the big scope, I mean, but in your life, I want to help to put the fire. I want to help bring light to this. So I'm going to be Puddleglum today. Did you find a quote? The quote?
I did find the quote that he said.
All right.
He said, yeah.
He says, "I'm on Aslan's side, even if there isn't any Aslan to lead it. I'm going to live as like a Narnian as I can even if there isn't any Narnia. Is that right?
Yeah. I'm going to live as much like a Narnian, even if there isn't a Narnia.
Thank you. All right, people. So I'm going to help today. That's what I want to do today. There we go. All right. So I want to help you to stay alert, to not compromise, to remember the truth. Remember, remember, remember. Oh, how much did he say remember? Papa was constantly telling Israel, remember, 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 remember. Remember, because, and why did he say that so much? Because he knew that there was going to be times when he wasn't going to be able to help you remember in the moment, and that moment was crucial, and you must remember what he did before, so that you know what he is doing right now, and that what he will do is true. So remember, 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 and then don't get sloppy. Okay, so stay alert. Don't smoke. Don't inhale the green smoke. Stomp it out. Stomp it out. Don't get sloppy. All right, so what is today's most intense in-our-face green smoke? And this is where I'm going to hit this next slide. And this is me shining some light on something that is affecting all of us right now. That is a pretty big deal. The green smoke right now, this is how I'm phrasing it, is the blending or assimilation of Yehovah Elohim's feminine and masculine image bearers into nothingness. So the green smoke is the assimilation, the blending of the two image bearers into nothingness. So they're not image bearing at all. All right. All right, so I am big into repentance. I mean, that's the name of our ministry. Teshuvah Ministries means repentance ministries. I want to help you repent. I want to help you stay in repentance. It's not a one-time thing. It is like a constant thing that you do over and over and over to make sure that you're auditing. You're constantly auditing your life, making sure that you're in line with Papa. What, Maggie?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. She should be just sitting here with me, but that's okay. She's pacing, so she can. All right, so when she has her mouth full of food, actually. All right. We're going to repent from pagan feasts and cycles. We're going to repent from pagan thought. We're going to repent from all pagan practices, all pagan ways, all pagan stuff, okay? So I primarily talk about repentance in regards to which feast cycle that you do. Okay, so when I feel like really heavy on my heart is to call people to switching from to teshuvahing from the pagan rhythm of Christmas, New Year's, Easter, that rhythm, all of it. Like there's only 1 month, I think it's August, that doesn't have a pagan day in it. But then actually have the rhythm of the school year starting there. So anyway, but to turn from that to Papa's ways. So you're going to actually practice, the living in Papa's cycle, in Yehovah Elohim's cycle of feast days and festivals. And that will keep you hopping big time, because that is huge. It's going to take a ton of your life and to life's energy. And so this teshuvah, that's what I'm really big into, and I really think that the rubber of repentance hits the road here with these feasts, because around you, everywhere around you, everyone's doing the other way. And so to switch and do it Papa's way is like a big deal. It's like standing up in the midstream and turning the other way. And we're doing so much, how do I say? Anyway, that's what I kind of, I don't want to say harp on, but that's what I feel called to really preach and talk about, is this teshuvahing that way, because it really is a sacrifice to celebrate the holidays, or celebrate those. You're sacrificing to those gods, and if you teshuvah, then you're going to sacrifice to Yehovah Elohim and his ways. So you're doing a lot of sacrifice over here, and you're doing a lot of sacrifice over here. You sacrifice one way or the other way. So I'm big into that, and I think that truly is where the rubber of the repentance hits the road and most seen. But There's another form of rebellion that is becoming super pronounced. And it's intertwined. I believe in the end it's intertwined with keeping the feast. And we're going to unpack that later. But even if we are not doing it and we're just tolerating it, it's, man, it's like we're participating in it. Remember what Yeshua said? He says, woe to those who call evil good and good evil. So if we're saying, oh, it's okay, woe to you is what he says. So weird that I know of some people who are living in this sin of homosexuality, and they are keeping the feasts. How can you do that? How can you possibly do that? That is like an abomination, and you're going to say, anyway. So this is a huge, huge subject. Evil is trying to erase Yehovah Elohims, and I know that Elohim is plural, and I probably don't need to put a apostrophe S on there, right? Hebrew student
Right.
Maggie? But how do I say it in English? That's the way it makes sense to me. Okay, Maggie is studying Hebrew, and so it's interesting learning. She's studying modern Hebrew from the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. She's doing it online, and so starting to learn some really cool things. But anyway, back on track. Evil is trying to erase Yehovah Elohim's image bearers. All right, the foundation to this has been laid through feminism, through tolerance, through diversity, but now it's getting super bold. There's no shame, there's no restraint, and attacks are compounding. And we really need to talk about this. I think we really, really need to talk about this. So, and here's the slide that when Isaac and I were talking, I was just jotting these down. We were talking about how it's everywhere. This perversion, this sexual perversion, gender perversion, it's everywhere. It's in the emojis. If you look in your phone, and you look down, like if you're going to type a text to someone, and you're like, oh, I want the little emojis, and then you turn and you look here, you keep looking, and you can see family situations here, the little emojis. Oh my gosh. Like they have choices here that Yehovah never created as a choice. But they're here as a choice. I wish you could edit this and, so I could clean my phone up. Oh, I think I just did something. But, and Google searches. I was telling Isaac, sometimes I do Google searches, for images. That are like related to things that I'm working on, different articles and whatnot. But I search for romance. You can't type in, I search romance or wedding or marriage or couple or engagement or wedding rings, or it doesn't matter, anything like that. And I get the perversion as well as the other. It's in movies, I'm just speaking to the choir. You all know this. It's in school. Don't even get me started on what they're doing in schools. I'm sure you are feeling the same way about what's going on in the schools and how they're educating our little ones and giving a, 4-year-old or 5-year-old, whatever is in kindergarten, a choice as to be whether they can choose. They can say, well, I'm a girl or a boy, or I'm an other. It's absolutely insane. Anyway, and then it feels like this is this culture's top issue right now. It's like Isaac was saying, this is the issue. This is the baby. This is like this culture's like, I don't know, the card that they're pulling. But what I want to start, how I want to start this is I want to say why. I want to ask the question why. I'm going to ask, the why, what, how questions here. So why is evil trying to erase Yehovah Elohim's image bearers? Okay. And I'll get a little more specific on what I mean by erasing and that blending and that assimilation a little bit later. But I think if you're smart, if you probably know what I'm talking about. But why is evil trying to erase Yehovah Elohim's image bearers? Well, Because Hasatan, the adversary of Yahovah Elohim, hates Yahovah Elohim. Okay, so Hasatan means the adversary. The adversary. It's not necessarily, he didn't start as our adversary. He started as Yahovah Elohim's adversary. And so get over yourselves, people. I have a little note here. It says, get over yourselves. This isn't so much our story as it's his story. And we are so self-absorbed. We think everything is about us. But this is his story. This is the adversary wanting to wipe out the image bearers of Yahovah Elohim. So this is an attack not so much on us, but on him, because he creates us to be his image bearers. And so if he can wipe out and, if he can assimilate, make gray, make differentiate, just mess it up so that you don't see the image bearers anymore that was intended, then he has effectively, hurt the creator, hurt the one who made him. All right. So this isn't totally your story. This is Papa's story. All right. And the family in heaven story. This subject, again, is so huge. Like I said before, that I could literally spend the rest of my life studying it, unpacking it, and then trying to figure out how to communicate it. And so we're going to do this as part 1. And then next week we'll do part 2. And we'll see how it goes from there. But why does this matter? Maggie? Why does it matter that the image bearers are disappearing? That he's trying to make them disappear? Not everyone is just, but as a general, when you look out your door and you walk downtown, you go, whoa, what was that?
Well, they're erasing his image.
They're erasing. Why does it matter? So the zakar is the word for male. Zakar refers to Adam, and the Ezer Kenegdo, which I spelled wrong, but that refers to Chava, the woman. So you have the man and the woman, the female, the male and the female. Adam and Chava. They are to work together in a had to reflect Yahovah Elohim. That was the point. The two together, he created a human being, as Boaz says. Boaz neofold. I think he created a human being, and then he split that human being in half. And then they were supposed to be glued to each other. The man was supposed to be glued to Chava, is how it was supposed to be. And then she was supposed to be glued to Yahovah Elohim. And we'll talk about that in a little bit, but a little bit later. But when we don't reflect Yahovah Elohim, we are not human. Okay, so, and this is, I'm going to try to unpack this for you. Skip Moen does a fabulous job of this. So the Ezer Kenegdo, the Zakar, the man and the woman, they were supposed to be reflecting Yahovah Elohim together. This wasn't something they were supposed to be doing alone, but together they were supposed to be reflecting Elohim. They're going to make man in our image, in our likeness. And we're going to talk about that a lot in a little bit. But when you don't reflect, when you don't operate in their image and in their likeness, then the definition of human being is reflecting his image and his likeness. So if you don't reflect his image and his likeness, Yahovah Elohim's image and likeness, then the definition of human being isn't being met, and therefore you're not actually human. You may be Homo sapien and a mammal, but you're not human, because he makes it very clear what the definition of a human is. Okay, so nowhere does he say to each his own. And this is something that we all deal with in society as we go about our daily business. And with the tolerance thing, and it's huge in schools. It's absolutely catastrophic in universities and stuff. I've been there and played the tolerance card on I used the tolerance, I used diversity in order to bring in truth, because they cannot, what do you call that, May? They can't not allow you anymore how do you say that? I can't remember the word. They have to allow everything. So they had to allow me, and I wanted to speak the truth, so they had to allow me. It was working in my behalf when I was president of the Hebrew Roots Club at Boise State University, because they had to allow it, you know. Someday, because of tolerance and because of diversity, but someday, you know, that's not gonna be allowed anymore because it's truth and nobody wants to hear it. But if you notice in the scriptures, nowhere does Yahweh Elohim say, to each his own. How many times have I heard that? To each his own. You know, when somebody doesn't see what I see, or oh, I love all religions, to each his own. You know, the truth is within you. You can find the truth, you know, blah, blah, blah. Or you must go find your own truth, or that sort of thing, you know. Truth is what you make it, or truth is what you believe, or your truth. No, there's one truth. There's one truth. It's Yahweh Elohim is the creator, and all of that, all of him, he is the truth. You don't make up your own truth. He defines, Yahweh Elohim defines what is good and what is right. He defines what is wrong. He's the one that he's like, here's the fence, black and white. You know, so he decides, Yehovah has decided what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is not. It is not up to us to decide. And this culture's mentality is, I get to decide what is good and what is not. I get to decide, you know, what is truth and what is not. I get to decide what is right and what is wrong. I think I just said that twice. So nowhere in the scriptures does it say that love equals tolerance. Nowhere. He doesn't say, you won't find it anywhere. I mean, tolerance is, there is patience, there's long suffering, there is endurance, there is mercy, there is grace, there's this sort of thing. But nowhere does he say to tolerate sin. And that tolerating sin is love. Okay, he doesn't say that ever. Ever. He doesn't tolerate sin, and he is love, right? Oh, heavens. Okay, so why do I want to speak on this, and what is my motivation? This is, Isaac asked me this question, and this is a good question. It's a very, very good question. Why do I personally, Rebecca, want to start this topic? Because, frankly, it's absolutely huge. We just came out of Hanukkah. You know, I'm just very tired to the core, and I'm like, no, I can find the energy to do this because it's important. And this is actually the first show of season 2 that is going to address something other than feasts. Up until now, I took a little bit of time off. I took about 5 weeks off, started the show, and then needed a little bit of a break for personal reasons and some major attacks that took me out for a little bit. But I'm back and got a lot of energy, and chutzpah is back, and so we need to talk about this. There's lots of different subjects that wanted to talk about during season 2 during the show. This one is huge because it really goes. I'm really wanting to talk about the Ezer Kenegdo. I really want to unpack the what happened at creation, what happened at the fall, what the job assignment of a woman is, what a job assignment of the man is. You know, so this is good. This is good. So why do I want to speak on this? What is my motivation? Okay, so primarily when I was thinking about it with Isaac, I think that it's so personal. It gets so personal to Yahweh Elohim. Like, it's a personal attack on him. He has created image bearers, people that were humans, that he, you know, Homo sapiens, mammals, who he then said, I want you to be a human, and thus, to be a human, you are going to bear my image and my likeness. You are going to be like me, like us. You're going to go out and you're going to live. You're going to rule. You're going to propagate, you know, and make more of you, more images of me, more light, more bearers of my image, our images. And to destroy that is so personal. I mean, it really gets at his heart. And I really want to fight for Yehovah Elohim's heart, Papa's heart. I love Papa. I love the family in heaven. I love the Ruach HaKodesh. I love the Son. I love the Father. And I really want their heart to be known, and I want to fight for that. And so when you see his Elohim's image bearers being destroyed, I know that it's just painful. Painful. I can feel it in my heart. When I go around and I see what I see, like, I'm not sure what it is, you know, and I'm like, what are you trying to be? Woman trying to be man trying to be woman, and all that. And it's like, whoa, I don't even know. I can't tell. And it just must break his heart. Out of all the things that we could do to hurt him, of all the things that we could do to not repent, not to teshuvah, not to obey, this has got to be one of the closest things to his heart by far. And the closest thing to hurting him. And I say him, I'm meaning Elohim, the family in heaven, okay? Because there's an us there that we're going to talk about. So one of the things I was thinking is, you know, you having a child is like having, when I was pregnant with Maggie, I remember somebody telling, you know, saying, it's like having your heart outside of your body running around, you know, and this thing has free will and it can do whatever it wants with your heart. You know, if your heart is outside of you and running around and it has free will, it could make all kinds of choices that are gonna like hurt you personally, because you take it personally. You're like, whoa, it's me out there, but whoa, they got free will, they're choosing that. And it's something that hurts the creator of the mother. It's so it hurts, you know, I think it hurts a parent to the core when a child doesn't want to be like the parent. So, you know, like, you know, if Maggie or Hadassah ever said to me, I hate you, I don't want to be like you, I'm going to do everything to not be like you. Oh, that would hurt the core. I mean, you know, if I was a bad parent, that'd be one thing. But as a good parent, as somebody who loves, like truly loves, would lay their life down for Maggie, for Hadassah, you know, and then to have, and to live life righteously and everything, and to have that child turn around and say, I hate you, I want to do everything I can to make sure that I don't look like you, I don't talk like you, I don't walk like you, I don't do anything like you. In fact, I don't even want to look like you. I'm going to butch everything and make myself completely opposite you. I mean, whoa. That is man, that is a core, a slug to the core. And I'm sure that some other speaker would have more fabulous words than I do for this, and be able to kind of unpack this with better words, but I'm going to do my best. So, you know, the idea of, do I want to be like my old man? You know, maybe some of you men are saying, you know, hey, I'm thinking about my dad. Do I want to be like my dad? Do I want to be like my old man? You know, and the ladies are probably saying, yeah, thinking, you know, do I want to be like my mom? Don't want to be like my mom. Well, not every mom is a good mom. Of course not. So most of us do everything we can to not be like our parents. And sometimes this is a good thing, you know. So most of us can attest to having very, very broken parents. And we want to be better parents than them. So on one hand, the idea of not wanting to be, you know, like your parents could be a good thing, you know, to stop generational curses, to, you know, to start this teshuvah process, to get your family back on track, that sort of thing. But sometimes there are parents that are, sometimes there are parents that aren't very good. And, well, wait, let me back up here. Let me back up and describe a different scenario. Let's say that, you know, one thing that I love about making a video before and not doing live is that I can go, I can have a brain fart, and then I can go, what was that? And then I can actually stop, cut it out, and you'll never know. But when you're live, man, you have to be on, and everyone knows that you're like, you did a brain fart. Okay, so let me go back just for a second. So the kid who doesn't want to be anything like their parents. So let's say the parent is a really good parent and righteous and teaching them the right paths to walk in, and the kid basically wants nothing to do with that parent, the parent, father or the mother, and they don't want to be anything like it, so they change every aspect of themselves in order to not be that is a non-image bearer. Okay, so that kid is not bearing the image of the father or the mother properly. They are destroying the image. They are erasing the image. They're saying, I don't want to pass down who you are to the next generation. I'm going to go ahead and be completely different. That's what's happening. Okay, so a non-image bearer, just a Homo sapien. Okay, because image bearer is someone, when we're talking about the story, when they make man in their image and in their likeness, we're going to talk about what constitutes image and likeness. We're going to look at how we bear the image. But when you're not acting like doing what he does, when you're not bearing the image or in their likeness, then you're not human, which could totally explain a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah. My daughter agrees. All right. In the old days, a non-image bearer in a home, I think, would be thrown out, right? If a kid decided they wanted to do something that was, totally against the parents' will, totally against, what the rules have been laid down, that sort of thing. I mean, the kid would be kicked out, right? They wouldn't get the inheritance, all this stuff. So let's go on here. We were made to reflect our Creator, like a child is made to reflect their parents. Okay, so Isaac and I had Maggie and Hadassah in our image, which means they have hands, feet, face, mouth, the whole thing. They look like us. They're in our species. But they also, we created, with the help of Elohim, we propagated and had children, and they are, to hopefully, the idea, if we raise them right, they will reflect us. They'll reflect what they learned at home, what they grew up like, what they, that's the idea. So we also were created to reflect Yehovah Elohim, the Creator. So this is our purpose, is this reflection, to live, to be an image bearer. This is our job, to be an image bearer. This is our design, to be an image bearer. And we image bearer together, actually, Echad, the man and the woman. That's what makes us human. Okay, so if we are not reflecting our Creator, Yehovah Elohim, then we are just Homo sapiens or mammals, and we are not human, right? And Skip Moen talks about it. He unpacks this. It's pretty cool. If you want to see his stuff, look at Skip Moen's videos. It's called Guardian Angel. I think he has 5 videos on YouTube that you can look at. So to be human is defined in the Genesis account. To be human is to bear Yehovah Elohim's likeness and image, and if we're not doing that, again, we are not doing what we were meant to be. We are not being human. Okay. So what is your picture of Yehovah Elohim? This is a really good question. Okay, so generally speaking, we do not have a good picture of who we are to reflect, right? So some of this is like, I think some of this is a reaction because people don't know who it is they were made to reflect. So what is your picture of Yehovah Elohim? All right. Do we know the entities that we were created in the image of? Big question to sit with. In fact, I could probably quit the show right now and just have you sit with this until next week. So what is your picture of Yehovah Elohim? This is huge. This is really, really crucial to unpacking our job as an image bearer and what's going on. So, who do you reflect? Okay, so one thing I want to mention right here is that as Maggie and Hadassah get older, it's really interesting to see Maggie especially learn about her mom. So there are things that as she's getting older, then I begin to talk more about my past with her and who I was, what things I did, what different experiences I had and stuff. And she'll look at me sometimes and she'll go, "Whoa, I never knew that." Like, wow, I didn't know that. And so sometimes I think she can see, she sees only what is now, and she's sometimes basing everything of who I am on what is now. And she doesn't know the huge amount of life that I had before she showed up or when she was little, And so as she's learning about who her mom is, I'd like to think that her love is growing deeper, that there's a little more respect there sometimes, maybe, or it has a potential for that, or, that there's a little more identifying going on kind of thing. But we've forgotten who our Elohim is. We've forgotten what they were prior to this whole story. We don't even know who our Elohim is. All we see is this, a lot of people classify him as a mad God of the Old Testament, right? And then we see Yeshua in the New, and we throw out the Old, thinking we can't understand that. But there is a huge history there. There's so much there that if we only knew. I think, what is it, John says? It cannot even contain the scroll. There's not even enough scrolls or ink to contain, who this Elohim is. If we were to write it all down. So I feel like we need an inspiring picture of Yehovah Elohim, and Isaac was the one that inspired me to look at it this way. But we need an inspiration. We need to be inspired, and we need an inspiring picture of who our Elohim is, who Yehovah Elohim is. So I have studied photography for most of my adult life. Photography is all about searching for the light. Right? Ask any photographer, a pro photographer, which I'm a pro photographer. And it is primarily about searching for light. That's what you're capturing, is light. So I want to shed some light on who this Elohim is that you and I were made in the image of. I want to help shed some light. I want to take some pictures for you. I want to show you some pictures. I want to help inspire you so that you fall in love with Yehovah Elohim again. And remember, Yah Elohim, I'm saying this purposefully today. I'm saying Yehovah Elohim, Yod Heh Vav Heh Elohim, because Elohim is plural. And we're going to start the story. We're going to start looking at this, the image bearers, by looking at the word us and our. We're going to create in our image. So Elohim is plural form of and we're going to get into that later. But I want to help you choose to be like your Creator. I want to help you desire to act like Him, like Yehovah Elohim. I want to help restore you to the true family who loves you so much. Okay, so we bear Elohim's image, like our children bear our image, right? And this is Adam. There's interesting in Genesis 5:3, we see that Adam actually, when he's 130 years old, he has a son. Hava has a son for him in his own likeness, after his own image, names him Seth. This is a huge topic. This is so big. We rebel against reflecting Yehovah Elohim, like our children rebel against us. People are doing this very thing they can. People are doing everything they can right now to not be like Yehovah Elohim, to not be an image bearer. This is pure rebellion, absolute pure rebellion. And we're going to talk about in the future here, maybe as we go on in the subject, we're going to talk about, you know, the women's hair. We're going to talk about, you know, the short butch look. We're going to talk about baldness. We're going to talk about how you dress. We're going to look at a lot of different things. I'm excited to share with you what I know, and then I'm excited to learn some more. So to start unpacking this attack and to start shining some light on it, over the next few weeks, we are going to look at whose image we were created to bear. Whose image we were created to bear. What and how does it mean? Like, what does it mean? How, as in what way do we bear the image and the likeness? How, and, you know, in what way do we bear it? And why is bearing the image and likeness according to the design really super important? Why is bearing the image and likeness according to the design super important? And then what is the green smoke? We're going to unpack that a little bit more. And it's just getting stronger and stronger around us. I don't know. Like, if you don't see it, you've got your head in the sand. I don't know. But what can we do about it? This is super important. What can we do about it? So I will see you next week for some more unpacking of this. But yeah, it's a super important topic. If you want to, you know, if you want to be a human, then you're going to bear the image and likeness of Elohim, of Yehovah Elohim, in the way that he designed it. There is the man and the woman, and they work together in achad to bear the image. And this is so important. It is the pink elephant in the living room. It is the thing, it is, you know, there's this God of tolerance thing that is just yeah. But Yahweh never said that love equals tolerance. Okay? Love is other-centeredness. By definition, love is other-centered, you know. And love is going to say, whoa, you're outside the gate. Get back in. Get back in. Come back into covenant. Come back into doing it the way that Papa said to do it. You know, come back into understanding what he said is right and wrong. What he said is important, and what is not important. So the disappearing image bearers is a huge topic. So we will do some more next week. All right. Oh, fun. Let me come back here. Any questions? Is there any questions on the? I don't even know. I haven't been looking. All right, people. Israel. Scattered Israel. I think I've got a little girl asleep over here. Maggie's with me though. All right. We will come back here in just a second. I like to close Shabbat with a small ceremony called Havdalah. Havdalah is division, dividing the holy day from the work days. It's important to somehow guard the edges of Shabbat.
Can we blow it out now?
Alright. Alright, there you go. And then we say goodbye, Shabbat. Bye, Shabbat. See you next week. There are so many ways that you can enter and exit Shabbat. If you do it like our brother Judah does it, you'll need a Kiddush cup for talking about overflowing joy, a Havdalah candle to talk about when the two become one, spices for talking about how to be a fragrant aroma to the King. Whatever you do, separate Shabbat out. Teach your children how to do this, and do it beautifully. May the ways of Yehovah Elohim, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, burn into the minds and hearts of the next generation. All right, so as Maggie's looking for some exit music, I want to leave you with Yeshua's blessing. Before I do, I want to mention, ladies, that I am going to go over into the group and just go live for a few minutes to say hi. So definitely meet me over there. But I want to leave you as a Melchizedek priesthood, which is what we are in. The only priesthood that's available right now is the Melchizedek priesthood. It's the priesthood that Yeshua came to restore, okay? So I want to give you Yeshua's blessing. He is the high priest. He's the Kohen Gadol of this priesthood. So I feel it fitting to leave you not with the Aaronic blessing, but with Yeshua's blessing on his Talmudim. As they were walking to the Garden of Gethsemane, he says, I have given them your word, and the world has hated them. I do not pray that you would take them out of the world, but that you would keep them from evil. Sanctify them through your truth. Your word is truth. I have declared your name to them so that the love with which you have loved me may be in them, and I in them. May they be one as we are one, or echad. Shalom, and have a wonderful week. Shabbat Tov. I will see you ladies in the group in just a little bit. Your generous and faithful support is much needed in order for our ministry to thrive. If you have benefited from our work, then please become a patron today. Visit www.patreon.com/Rebekah Garvin